Welcome in, guys, into our preview of every single division for the upcoming 2025 season. And today we're in the AFC North with, we're going to talk about the AFC North here. And the first team I'm going to talk about is the Baltimore Ravens. So last year, as you guys remember, the Ravens finished 12-5 last year. So they did 12-5 regulars, 12-5 regular season win. They won the AFC North. They won the wild card against the Steelers. And then they lost the divisional round to the Bills 25-27. Bills went to the championship game last season. And then you're looking at the Baltimore Ravens after the 2024 season, and you're like, it's another underwhelming season, especially when it comes to playoff time. Now, you're looking at John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, again, he's definitely going to go down at some point in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Absolutely. He is a legend, former Super Bowl winning champion. But again, it's been 12 years since he last won a championship. 2013 was his... It's been 13 years since he last won a championship, 2013. And you're looking at this, and for the past number of years, especially with Lamar Jackson, you've had an MVP winning franchise quarterback for the last number of years. And you're still choking, especially you're choking when it comes to the playoffs, especially in championship games. It's just, again, haven't appeared in a Super Bowl since 2013, especially since you've had Lamar Jackson, no Super Bowl appearances since. And you don't want to look back at this Ravens team and go, that the Ravens team was really good, but they never won the championship. You don't want that really with this roster. And they have a really good roster. But the departures that they let go, obviously Justin Tucker was the big one because he wanted to have a happy ending in a massage parlor. We won't talk about that, but yeah, investigation. They let him go for footballing reasons. Yeah, footballing reasons is reason why he went. Okay, not because he had a happy time. So the additions that they added in this season, let's talk about the needs. Especially it's the defense. It's always at the defense side of the ball where the Ravens have struggled, especially in the playoff games. So they had to address the edge, safety, inside linebacker, defensive line, cornerback, offensive tackle. So they addressed wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins from the Chiefs, Jake Hummel from the Rams, Cooper Rush, quarterback Cooper Rush. They also added Jamar Alexander from the Green Bay Packers, D.A. Everest Johnson from the Jags. So again, they had some good additions, and then you look at the new deals that they've added in. You're looking at Kyle Hamilton, who's signed a new deal for a year. Derrick Henry signed a new 2-year deal, who again, him and Lamar Jackson were fantastic last year. And then Sherrod Bateman just signed a new 3-year deal for $36 million a year. The additions that they added in, obviously they needed a safety, somebody to beef up that defensive line to help Kyle Hamilton on that defensive side of the ball. And then Malachi Starks, from Georgia. Again, I looked at him on tape. I think he's a fantastic addition on that defense side of the ball. Outside linebacker Mike Green from Marshall. Again, another great addition. Emory Jones Jr. Offensive tackle. So again, what I like here is the first three approaches in this draft is that they beefed up that offensive line. They beefed up that both sides of the balls, both sides of the trenches that they beefed up, which was offensive line and the defensive line. They also traded away a couple of they also got some cap space in this draft, which is obviously well needed. Obviously, further on in the draft, they went for a couple more cornerbacks like Bully Kane from Western Michigan, Tyler Loop, who's a kicker. Again, kickers matter, goddammit. But yeah, some fantastic good things. I think some fantastic, especially Malachi Starks and Mike Green are just two fantastic additions, and Emory Jones. And then the schedule, they have the Bills. First week they have Bills on the road. Then they have Skid Marks. Then they have Then they're home to the Lions, and the big game against the Chiefs. And then after that they have the Texans on week 5 and 6. They go to the Rams. By week 7 they have Bears football week 7 at home. And then they go to Miami on week 9. Week 10 they have 2 road games against the Vikings and the Browns. So kind of 2 tough games. It could be especially with the Minnesota game. Then they have the Bengals and the Steelers at home. They have a road game against division rivals, the Bengals. Then they against the Patriots with Mike Vrabel. And then they have 2 road games against the Packers and the Steelers to end week 17 and 19. Again, my predictions for this year, they've got to get to a championship game this year. Got to at least appear in the Super Bowl this year. But again, this has to be kind of the end of an era for John Harbaugh. Yeah, he's a legend, and I know, but again, it's like, what have you done for me lately? And lately, it's sorry, Ravens fans, but it's time to move on from John Harbaugh. Moving on here to the Cincinnati Bengals, and they just didn't have a good year at all. The defense let them down. There was a 9-8 team last year, 3rd in the AFC North. Defensive really is what has let them down the last number of years. Especially when you're looking at the Bengals in a championship winning window, especially with Joe Burrow almost 30. You've had some additions like Jamar Chase, who I know signed a new deal, new 4-year deal, which is a big addition. But you're looking at this Bengals team a number of years ago. They was in a Super Bowl, and it's like your championship window is now, and you still haven't addressed the needs that you need, especially like edge and stuff like that. And I think really, if you're looking at the Bengals, they had a really underwhelming draft. I wasn't impressed with the draft at all. I even talked about it like when I did like the grade of the draft. I wasn't impressed. But the additions that they've added in, like just regular free agency, they've added Sammy Perino from the Chiefs. Especially on that running game, I think he's going to be a fantastic addition. Then especially beefing up that defensive tackle, Terrell Stanton, Packers. And then they gone back to that defensive line, and then they gone for a linebacker, Orel Burke from the Eagles, Lucas Patrick from the Saints. Obviously, they need to beef up that and to protect Joe Burrow. And then Joe Giles Harrison from the Jags, and another linebacker. And then Noah Fant from Seattle to beef up that more weapons for Joe Burrow, which is much needed. Jamar Chase had that new deal that I just talked about. And free agency, really, the losses is just like, they haven't really lost much in like big additions, but Trent Brown has departed to the Texans for a year. Von Bell got released, and Joey Basho, linebacker, went to the Colts. And in the draft, I wasn't impressed with the draft. Again, I like that they're addressing defensive additions that they need, but you're looking at this, you're looking at Shamar Stewart, which again, was he really the best prospect overall? I know that again, you just want bodies and numbers, I understand that. But you've got Shamar Stewart, defensive end from Texas A&M. I wasn't impressed with his team. Maybe again, just something that the front office and the Bengals were impressed with that I didn't see, but okay. Demarius Knight, linebacker from South Carolina, who again, I've seen him on tape, again, I'm pretty impressed with him. Dylan Fairchild as a guard, again, you need to beef up that both sides of the ball, especially defense, but again, offensive line needs more beefing up on that in the trenches on the offensive side of the ball. So again, you need a couple of new starters. So Dylan Fairchild is a great addition from Georgia. And then you got Barrett Carter, linebacker from Clemson, Jalen Rivers, again another guard from Miami, Ty Brooks, running back from Texas Tech. And then the schedule here, they got the opening game that they're on the road to the skid marks in a division game. Then they got Cleveland on week 2. Then you're looking at week 3, 4, and 5. They have a road game against the Vikings, road game against Denver, home to the Lions. They're on the road on week 6 to the Packers, and then they have a home game against fellow division rivals Steelers. They're home to the Jets and Bears football. Then they have a bye week, week 10, and then after weeks 11 to 13, they're on the road to the Steelers, at home to the Patriots. Look at the Patriots, especially in the verbal. I'm interested to see how they're gonna do against Matt Ruppel's Patriots, and then you're looking at the Ravens, and then you're looking at the Bills again. You got two tough road games against the Ravens and the Bills. Especially you're gonna look at the Bills and the Ravens this year as Super Bowl contenders, and then you got the Ravens again. Ravens again on week 15, and you end week 16 to 17. You have a road game against Miami, and then you have the Cardinals at home, and then the last game you have the skid marks at home to end the regular season. To me, I look at this Bengals team. I'm gonna say they're the second in the division. They'll probably have to be like a 10-5 team this year. Yeah, I don't know. They'll may get into the wild card, but I've not been too impressed. Then we'll go into the Steelers here, which again, same thing what I said about John Harbaugh. It is time to move on. With Mike Tomlin, I know he's a legend. The press like him, whatever. But again, it's like, what have you done for me lately? Same with what I just said about John Harbaugh. We look at Mike Tomlin. It's always the defense side of the ball which has let him down. Again, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record in the regular season. He's always had a good winning record in the regular season. Never had a losing record in the regular season. Like I just said, it's just when it comes to playoffs, it's like they was 10-7 last year. Second, they got to the wild card and they lost to the Ravens 14-28. Additions that they needed a quarterback. Absolutely needed to address a quarterback. You cannot be winning championships with Justin Fields in a way past his best Russell Wilson. So who did they go for? Former 2020 MVP, Aaron Rodgers. And I'm like, this would have been good 5 or 6 years ago. But this is 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't pulling up trees in New York. So what makes you expect he's going to do that in Pittsburgh? It's going to be, I just predict, in my opinion, that Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin are just going to butt heads, and it's just going to be a dumpster fire, and I'm here all for it because fucking inject on my veins. But yeah, again, DK Metcalf they also got from they added onto the roster, and Kenneth Gainwell, former Super Bowl winning champion with the Steelers, with the Eagles. And then you're looking at the draft, defensive tackle Derek Hamer, Derek Heyman, defensive tackle for Oregon. I think is a good addition on the defensive line. You need to beef up that defensive line if you're gonna try to be in that championship winning window. Then Caleb Johnson, running back, which I'm really a third round. That's a steal, no pun intended. But that is a real good addition for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get Caleb Johnson, running back. He's gonna be a great weapon for Aaron Rodgers. And then Jack Sawyer, defensive end from Ohio. Yaya Black, defensive tackle from Iowa. Will Howard, again, he's going to be a good backup at quarterback for Aaron Rodgers from Ohio. And then Carson Bueller, linebacker. And then Dante Kent, cornerback from Central Michigan. Schedule-wise, again, the first game they're on the road to Aaron Rodgers' former team, the Jets. Then week 2 they have Seattle. They're on the road to New England. Then they have the Vikings. They have a bye week in week 5. Then week 6 to week 8 they add the skid marks, the Bengals, the Packers, the Colts, and then weeks 10 to 12 you're looking at the Chargers, Cincinnati, Bears football, the Bills. So again, back-to-back tough game, really tough game between even the Bears. Like looking at the Bears, it's going to be essentially a tough game. Bills, Ravens, and then you're looking at end of the regular season. You're looking at the Dolphins, the Lions, Even though we've been shaky in preseason, that's going to be a tough game. Skid marks again, and then to end week 18, you have a tough game against division rivals, the Ravens, at home. And in my opinion, I'm going to say I'm going to say they finished fourth in the division this year, and maybe like an eight. Maybe like an, I don't know. Maybe like an eight. I don't know, like an 8-2 team or something like that. Maybe 9-2, something like that. I don't know, but now I'm gonna say that they're gonna be like a 5-10 team. I don't know. I'm gonna stick with them being a 5-10 team. I just don't think they're gonna do shit this year. I think Caleb Johnson's gonna do good for them though. And then we're looking at the last team for the AFC North, and we're looking at the skid marks. Yes. You're looking at the Cleveland Browns, and they were a dumpster fire last year, and I was here all for it, guys. 3-14, buck last in their division. Oh my God. They needed everything. They needed to get out of Cleveland. Oh, anyway, they needed a quarterback. They needed a support. They needed some defense. They needed a quarterback. They needed a quarterback, an edge, a running back. A lot of additions. Additions that they added: Jerome Baker from Tennessee, linebacker, wide receiver DeAndre Carter from Bears football. It's like, guys, defensive tackle Malik Collins from the 49ers, Joe Flacco as quarterback, who apparently is going to start. Don't know why. Tevin Jenkins. Again, what did Andrew Berry see in Tevin Jenkins to go, yeah, that's going to be the guy to protect Shador Sanders? Because Tevin Jenkins was so great protecting Caleb Williams and fucking Justin Fields for the last 3 years. He's like, yeah, that's our guy to protect our young quarterback. Tevin Jenkins, guys. And then Devontae Jones, Cornelius Lucas from the Commanders, Julian Adeworko from the Cardinals. Oh, what the hell is that? Then they also got Kenny Pickett as a backup to again, I guess as a backup. Dorian Thompson went the other way to the Eagles. Departures: Mike Ford departed, and Anthony Bell, Jordan Atkins, and not really. Nick Chubb departed to the Texans. So a couple of not really missable departures, if you're gonna be honest. The draft: Mason Graham was a great addition, that defensive tackle from Michigan. Carson Schwarzenegger was a steal in the second round by the skid marks from UCLA. Harold Fanning Jr., tight end. I think he's a good addition. My question is, and I said it in the draft, why did they draft two quarterbacks in this draft? Dylan Gabriel, who's nearly 25, 26, he's nearly 26, 27, from Oregon, and then you drafted Shador Sanders, who again, yes, okay, yeah, he has some raw upside about him, but I think and I know people are in a meltdown about, oh, he was drafted in the 5th round. It's like, yeah, but people are just going off his name, man. Like, if you're looking on tape, he wasn't better than Cam Ward, and that's just how it is. So yeah, Shador Sanders, again, he should be the one who starts really, because again, he has more upside than a Dylan Gabriel, and again, and then you're gonna have the young lion himself, Joe Flacco, start Shador Sanders, and then the last couple of weeks they traded away. But you're looking at the schedule again, they're at home to Cincinnati, then they have the Ravens, so you're looking at two tough games. So you have the Ravens at Bengals and the Ravens, then they're at the Packers, then they got a tough road game against the Lions, then they got the Vikings, then they got the Steelers, week 6, and week 7 to 8 and 9 they have the Dolphins, Patriots on the road, they have a bye week 9, they're at home to the Jets week 10, week 11 they have the Ravens again, they have the Raiders, week 12, week 13 they have the 49ers, so that's going to be a tough home game, then they have the Titans, then they have Bears football on the road. Week 15, you got to look at Ben Johnson and the Bears. I know they've been a bit shaky in pre-season, but You know, they've been doing okay in pre-season, but you're looking at Ben Johnson, and he looks like he's going to get his shit together, and hopefully in Chicago. But and then you're ending week 16, 17, and 18 with the Bills, Steelers, and then you're looking at Cincinnati. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be another bad year for the skid marks. And yeah, I think they're going to be third in the division. I don't know. Between them and the Pitt Steelers are going to be third or fourth. But yeah, just hold on, Steelers. Hold on, skid mark fans. It's going to be a long season. But yeah, that is my AFC North prediction. So I've gone for this. Ravens are going to win the division. Second are going to be the Bengals. Third are going to be the skid marks. Fourth are going to be the Steelers. So yeah, leave your guys' thoughts on what you think is going to be going down in the AFC North. But it's very predictable. It's going to be the Ravens year again. But yeah, leave your guys' thoughts in the comments. And I'll be back probably next couple of days to talk about the AFC East. So yeah, bye guys.